Welcome back to the DNA Pest Control Podcast. Daniel.
And Aaron.
All right.
It's the end of the month.
It is the end of the month. Mm-hmm. And how was your month?
It came and went. Like
it's gone by, huh?
It was just the start of May, and now we're at the end.
Dude, it's crazy.
All year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids out of school. It's like insane.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, because your brother just graduated.
He did. My younger brother just graduated. Summer's here. Bugs are out. It's hot. People are getting antsy out there. It's fun for us, though. You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's been a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, no, it has been. And thanks to everybody who listens for all the support, all the questions that are rolling in. We appreciate it, and we're here to help and answer any of those questions for you. With the Q&A this month, we actually had quite a bit. So we'll see how many we can get through.
Yeah.
We don't want to take up hours and hours. So we'll see what we can do, but let's get started on it. Let's jump right in.
Absolutely. And just a preface, Daniel and I are not gurus. We're doing the best we can. So if we're wrong, please call us out and let us know.
Yeah.
But first question from Christian Cervantes, which he was a guest a while ago. So thank you, Christian. He wants to know, do you guys use lead generators? If so, what works for you?
Yes, we do. So we do use one lead generator now. I will tell you some lead generators that we have used in the past. And I am telling you, be careful. Okay. Everyone wants to press the easy button. Mm-hmm. And I still have not gotten the easy button. I need to get it.
Oh yeah.
But everybody wants to. And so everybody gets sold on these magical lead generators. Okay. How do lead generators make money? Does anyone know? I mean, I don't know if you know, but
how do a company that does lead generation, how do they make money?
Yeah.
Like subscriptions from companies, right?
Well, yeah. So they charge you for every lead that comes in. So if you're per lead.
Oh,
so, well, listen to this. This is the best part about it. So you have to be careful, because if you get a lead, they charge you, but they don't only send me a lead. I mean, that would be nice, right? How nice of them just to focus on me.
Exclusive.
That's not how they work. So be prepared. They're going to send 3 to 5 companies that same exact lead, and you have to fight for that person, and you get charged no matter what.
No matter what.
No matter what, you get charged. Now, some of them, they're able to have the customer specifically choose you, and you're the only one who gets it. But that's going to come at a higher cost.
Yes.
Okay. So now to answer a little bit off of that, but I'll get back to it of what. So Angie's List. Okay. Everybody knows them. They're a lead generator. Okay. The problem is, and I'm going to be very upfront, I'm going to open up everything. We paid them 1 year for all the leads that they generated, all the jobs that they gave us. I paid them about $12,000, about $1,000 a month. All right. Guess how much we made off of those $12,000 spent to generate leads?
I hope it's over 12,000.
It was a little over 12,000. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to guess?
15.
It was. Yeah. It was a little over 15,000.
Garbage.
Absolute garbage. So we made about $3,000, and that is not taking out expenses. Technicians getting paid, gasoline, vehicles, wear and tear, office, nothing. So we lost money.
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah. So we actually did not make money with Angie's List, and I was on it. I was answering those phone calls. I was calling those people back. I was pulling. I was fighting. I was doing everything I could. And the cost per lead was so expensive, we couldn't get our money's worth.
Yeah.
Because they want to charge you $100 per lead or more because they know, well, you're going to get a contract. Well, sometimes it doesn't work all the time. Or rodent jobs could be 1,000. Yeah, they can be. Not all the time.
Not all the time, yeah.
So they want their chunk of that. They want the piece of the pie. I'm giving you a lead. I want a big majority.
Of course.
you know? So you do have to be careful with those. So when people say lead generators, I really don't like them. Mm-hmm. Advertising is so much better on so many different fronts because you're paying that set cost. Sometimes you get people, sometimes you don't, but it's all based off of how good your marketing is, other than paying for a lead that 5 other guys are fighting for.
Yeah.
And I have to pay that money no matter what.
Yeah.
Whether I get it or not, I have to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, if I'm going to lose it majority of the time, then I might as well just spend the money on marketing.
Yeah. 100%.
Right? I mean, it's the easier way.
100%.
And then my name is out there consistently in people's faces. Yeah, they may not buy that first time or that first month that they see it, but they're going to buy the second or third or the fourth or the fifth. You know, the more that they see my name, the more that they're going to buy from us, right? So lead generators, you have a lot out there. I get emails and emails and emails of them. Thumbtack's another good one. Mm-hmm. Angie's List, if you want to go that route, you can. I know Yelp is doing it. So they kind of do their own lead generators. Yelp, I don't even know why I even mentioned it. I hate them. They're terrible. They're terrible people. It's a horrible company. Mm-hmm. I hate everything about them.
You heard it on the DNA Pest podcast.
Yes, you did. And I hope that they hear it because they are literally stealing money from small businesses. Yeah. And it is absolutely insane what they do. Mm-hmm. And it should be illegal what they're doing.
Yeah.
But they get away with it and they're doing it anyway. So there's a lot to go from on that, but that's just a few. You can go look them up. I don't believe in them. Yeah. I don't like them. Awesome probably in the beginning when it first started, but where they've come to today, they're just stealing money. Lead generators are stealing money from guys. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. They're feeding on the prey of the lazy. Sorry, Christian, not saying you're lazy, but people want the easy money and they think if I jump on a lead generator, I'm just going to get this flood of accounts.
Yeah.
Because all the emails I get, can you take on 100 more customers a month? And it's like, well,
sure.
Yeah, but
sounds good.
How much am I going to have to pay you to even get that?
Yeah.
And am I even going to get 100?
Yeah. And where are you getting these 100 people from?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like they're doing, and this is what I'm saying, guys, that's insane and why I don't like lead generators. The same shit that they're doing online, you can do. They are advertising on Google. It's nothing. It's not crazy.
Seriously.
They're literally advertising on Google to get leads prior to your company. That's all they're doing.
Yeah.
They're going in and saying pest control in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to go and pay the most that I can per click to my website before a pest control company can get them. That's all they're doing. Mm-hmm. They're literally doing the same advertisement as you. They don't have this secret sauce. They're not special in any way. They just have massive funds behind them because they're probably a public company. Maybe Angie's List is, and they can put on, advertisements on TV.
Yeah. Just to push to the front of the list. That makes sense.
That's literally all they're doing.
Yeah.
The same thing you can do. They're doing.
Yeah.
Like they literally have nothing. And now, which is really cool because we have a lot of these small platforms and actually very large platforms for TV, you're getting away from actual live commercials. You can go on Hulu and do them. You can go on YouTube and do them. I mean, you can go on social media and do them.
Oh, yeah.
And they're at a fraction of a cost. So now small businesses can take big advantage of it.
Yeah.
Without paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to put up, an ad on Fox, right? You can just do that with a smaller platform or Hulu, and I know it's fairly cheap.
And also, who's watching that on live TV anyways? Like,
most people are skipping through it.
Yeah. Seriously.
But those companies have a budget made for it. They have to spend $100 million on advertisement.
I see.
They know that, and that's to keep them relevant.
Yeah.
Because if they stop, somebody else will do it, and so they can't stop.
Got it.
So now their advertisement dollars have to be spent. There's actually a Coca-Cola did it. They actually stopped advertisement one time for a couple of years. Like they just stopped. They're like, we're just not going to do it. We're already known.
Yeah.
And they actually started going down. And so they had to reamp everything and throw it all back out and go crazy with it.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah. So there was some stuff there. But so that's why big companies do television and keep pushing and pushing and pushing because they have to. So There's your lead generator. Sorry for taking up so much. I get a little worked up about these guys.
No, you're good. You're good.
Steal money.
I mean, you answered it great. I mean, if there's anything I can add to it, obviously outside of the marketing and advertising, the strategic marketing and advertising, be smart about it. Use what you have, be resourceful. I mean, for us on the business side, we have our guys equipped not only with the knowledge of what services we do offer, the price sheets, how the process works itself on how to sign somebody up, but also with door tags. I don't know if you have a referral program with what you're doing, but that's huge. It's been huge for us. It's a gift that keeps on giving, and it's all word of mouth. It's free. Just equipping the technicians with more info to organically just produce more leads. That's I'll get into that.
And there's another question coming up, which I'll jump on that and add to it, which the direction I would go if I was starting is I would not do lead generation at all. And I'll get into why.
Perfect. Well, let's do that one.
Okay.
So Julio Contreras said, what are some do's and don'ts of your first year as an owner/operator?
Okay. See, that one is... There's a lot of don'ts, in my opinion.
Okay.
So my first year taking it over and it's scary, but you have to eventually put it behind you and this is where everybody says it. It's online. Everyone is always talking about it. No one does it, but it's fire fast.
Okay.
Fire fast, hire slow. You having the right people is the best thing that you can do. That is the big do, and that's also the big don't.
Okay.
I would not hire family personally unless you have outlined everything that you're going to be in charge of and everything they're going to be in charge of, and they understand who's the boss and who isn't the boss and what's going on. As long as that's set, I would. But that's another don't. The next thing is when you're starting, I jumped in a little bit later into the game, right? We already had a set amount of accounts. We already had routes going. But I did hit a point where the lady in the office, we got rid of her. And employees are the biggest expense. Nobody understands that. So when you understand the majority of your money is not going to a vehicle. It's not going to chemical. It is going to pay somebody's salary. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That is the biggest expense in most companies now, and at least in America, is their biggest expense is people.
Yeah.
So when it comes to an asset, right, you want to create people as an asset, not an expense.
Yes.
So they are on the books. They're going to be an expense, but they need to be in an asset category. So that is the hardest thing, is saying, do we need this person? Do we not need this person? Can we get rid of this person? And some people, because we're in this now, we are sitting in a limbo where we could get rid of somebody, but they're still producing, and we know what role they're in and we're okay with that. And so, but we're also in a whole different position.
Yeah.
If I was in the beginning, again, that person would be gone 100%. Because there's just no more value there other than they can handle X amount of accounts.
Sure.
And even then, it's not enough. They need to be able to handle more.
Yeah.
So those are some of the do's and don'ts. This one can go really, I mean, we can go long on this.
Yeah, no, I think those are good starters because this is a you question for sure,
Yeah. Well, you came in, we were still pretty small. We had multiple people, but it was some people we didn't really even need.
Yeah.
We had more people than needed.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing is you have to find out where that threshold is do we need that person? Do we not need that person? Should we bring that person on or should we not bring that person on? Yeah. Is growth happening fast enough that we're going to use them? We could bring them on and get them filled up in time. There's so many factors into it, but you're starting brand new. You just got a truck. You have 0 customers. Go out, knock doors. Go out, hit businesses. I would suggest businesses before doors because businesses are a lot easier. Everyone start with your friends and family. That's going to be the easiest way to get a dozen customers really quickly because they'll cancel their current pest control company and jump to you. At least they should. And then the other thing is don't give family discounts. That's not how that works. If anything, family should be paying you more. Don't ask for more, but they should be paying you what your time is worth. And don't set your prices so low that you can't grow, because that's another problem that happens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of don'ts in there. There's a lot of don'ts. We could actually create a whole episode of do's and don'ts.
Which we can. I think we should come back on that on do's and don'ts this first year.
Yeah. But the other don't is do not do lead generation. You don't have the money to put into lead generation. You don't have $1,000 to spend on a monthly basis to throw away into the trash. If you don't have that, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Because for me, that's where sales is so valuable and why so many companies go to door-to-door sales, because it's guaranteed accounts. Guaranteed. You don't get paid until you sign up someone up, which means that money goes back to the company. And then we have a person guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
That's why people love salesmen. That's why they love door-to-door, because you get guaranteed accounts. It's not marketing. You're not throwing out thousands of dollars with nothing coming back. You put out $1,000, you're getting X amount of accounts back.
Sure.
Guaranteed, because they don't get paid.
Yeah.
So that's where so many people get it. That's why you, as a startup, you have to go out and get all those accounts. You have to go knock all those doors. You have to go make those contacts. So if you don't like sales, don't start a business.
There you go.
Because it's rough and it's not going to just be handed to you. You may slowly grow, but we've seen what that looks like. 30 years down the road, guy's 70 years old, still running his own company, still in a vehicle, and maybe has an employee.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You have to know I'm selling and I have to constantly be selling. So there's that. The end of the lead generation answer.
No, that's good. That's good. And I like your idea about we can create another episode on actually what that would look like and kind of get a little bit more in depth on like the personnel, how you're setting up your office, how you're setting up your team, who's doing what. I think that'd be really good.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But to piggyback on that last question, Jesse Moreno had a good question that I wanted to go over. Today's pricing, what should common jobs be priced at? What a great question, Jesse.
Let's hear it.
Oh, for me, it just depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
When we interview technicians coming on board, or we're talking to customers and they're telling us about, what they're paying or what their current company does, I get a lot of mixed answers, but a very common one that I get is we pay like X, like we pay like $100 and they do outside, they do foundations, they do garage, inside. Yep. We have a bait station and this, and that's what it is. And that's set. I've heard of companies who are going really low, I don't know what the average market price is, but like on a house, like under 2,000 square feet, if you're doing a spray only, if your services are like under
that, I'm going to tell you that they don't know what that means. What we do here is different. Most companies don't do separate services.
Okay, so we do separate services on the company. So that's my point.
Yeah, they don't know what that means outside of this room and probably this office. Like it doesn't exist.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really doesn't.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I talking to some customers and
it's going to now.
It's going to now. I'm talking to some customers and they're like, oh, my last company, I only paid like $40 a service, or I did this and they gave me everything. And, my opinion is charge what you're worth. I know at least for what we do, we're thorough. We have a pest-free guarantee. It's one of our slogans. You know what I mean? We make sure that we are taking care of the customers and we are treating appropriately for the right pest. And we do spend our time if necessary. So, I think to answer your question, Jesse, I guess it kind of depends on how frequently you're servicing that customer, what kind of customer it is, if it's a commercial or residential. If it's a residential house, I think somewhere the sweet spot is between 80 and 120, depending on what you're doing. And again, if you're, now you got me all mixed up, because if you're, doing the webs and you're doing the rodents and you're doing, the lawns, you're doing multiple things, it should be more. But what's your take?
No, and that's where, so what we did when we started the company here, is I was sitting down with my brother-in-law and there's another guy involved there in the beginning, but we all just started calling companies We just called local companies and found out what the different prices were. And we just lined up every company, all their prices. And then we just went in the median. Mm-hmm. What's the medium there? Mm-hmm. Now, that's not business smart, to be honest with you. That's really stupid. Because if you call some Joe Blow guy who's doing it for $40, and then you call some massive company, Terminex, Orkin, and they're going 89 or 99, well, your middle is going to be very, very low, where you could actually be more on the higher end. So we tried to call more well-known companies in hopes that we're just pulling in that they did their research and figured out what the cost should be. But most companies, there's so many ways to figure out what your price should be. Mm-hmm. So there was a really good marketing guy. He goes off of what is the lifetime value of a customer. So if you go in and if you're starting, unfortunately, this is garbage because you don't have any, evidence. But so if your lifetime value of a customer is 3 years, we get someone on, they stay with us for an average of 3 years. Well, start to do the math, right? So if they're on for 3 years, every 2 months, let's say $60 a service, right? And you only have 5 services in a year. Okay, or 6 services in a year, that's 360 times that by 3, right? You're starting to put that together. Well, how much can that be? What is that value? Okay, and then you got to find out your costs. How much does it cost to go service a customer, right? We can't send a technician and be at a house for an hour for $60.
Yeah.
You're not going to make very much money. It's going to be very, very little money. Apart from that, they can only do 8 customers, maybe about 7 in a day.
Sure.
So start to do the math. Most people, unfortunately, is they're a route tech. Mm-hmm. Well, route tech's getting paid, depends on the state, right? From 12 to 20 an hour. Mm-hmm. Well, you hear $60 a service times by 6 services a day, you're saying, holy shit, I can make triple the amount of money that I'm normally making. Mm-hmm. Yes, but also no. Business doesn't work that way. Mm-hmm. There's expenses. you know.
There's always expenses.
Well, and you're with a company that provides healthcare. Mm-hmm. They do 401k matches. They do vision. They do dental. Mm-hmm. That's not free. Like that didn't literally just like, oh, here you go. Yeah, like someone is paying that. Someone has to pay for that. Yeah. So that is coming out of every cost of service. Mm-hmm. So you go out and do super low services because you're a one-man show. You can get away with that.
Yeah.
You can't scale. Mm-hmm. You can't grow. You can't maintain. You can't be that. So sometimes we have to think, what is that minimum cost and figure that out?
Sure.
And then you need to add on what your value is going to be.
Okay.
Because there is a threshold as well. You can't go and charge $200-$300 per service every 2 months and just spray around a person's house. You can't do that either. No one's going to pay for it. Mm-hmm. You may get very few, sure. But you're not going to get the average customer is not going to do that. They're going to go for somebody else.
Yeah.
But also the average customer will look at $40 a month or $40 a service and say, whoa, that's really cheap. What are they doing?
What's wrong with it?
Yeah, what's wrong with it?
That's my first question.
Yeah. I can go online and buy products and I'm spending about the same as what I'd pay this guy. Well, of course I'm going to pay him.
Yeah.
But how? How is he making any money?
With what? Yeah.
Yeah, he's not like an 8-year-old kid mowing lawns and he lives with his parents, right? I mean, he could.
Yeah.
But like there's expenses there. So guys, you have to understand that there's the pricing there is going to vary state to state. And how often you're doing it varies too. Call companies and find out, get pricing, for different square footages of homes and see what that looks like for your average services. But some of it is you're going to have to get, you're going to actually have to do some math and figure it out, and figure out what does that mean to you and how much extra do you need to be able to scale and grow, and use that extra money to scale and grow.
Love that.
So yeah, I mean, for us, I'll tell you our prices. Because you can get online. It doesn't really matter. So we have multiple services.
Write this down.
Yeah, write this down. This is good. This is gold. we've stepped away from the traditional pest control. So we created 3 different services. So we have our general service, our premium service, and our elite service. Okay. Each one costs different, right? So our general service, your basic spray service is $60. You go up from there, you go to premium service. Our premium service is $89 every 2 months. Okay. And then your elite has a couple extra things in there. But your elite service is $115. So everybody kind of decides, you got to come up with what that's worth and where does that sit. Could be different in your state. That could be really high. That could be really low. You go to the Bay Area, these prices would be a lot higher. So if we were in San Francisco, LA, San Diego, our prices would be a lot higher because it costs a lot more to live in those areas. Where we sit, we can get away with those prices and they're competitive. But it just depends on where you live, right?
That's true.
So you got to understand where you go is that value has to change. You can't keep an $89 price when rent for a single bedroom bath in San Francisco is like $3-4 grand.
There's no way.
Well, you can't hire someone out there. Mm-hmm. You'd have to hire someone outside the city to go drive there to do it because there's no way they could live there. Mm-hmm. So you have to adjust your prices accordingly so that you're making money, and that's where your expenses are going to go way higher too, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So pay attention to that because if you go too low, you can make it, but no one else will be able to.
Yeah, I see that.
So, all right, next one.
That's good.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
No, that was another good one. Really good, really good. This is actually where I wrap up with this last one from Cal Coast Pests, Michael Keefe. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in your opinion, do you guys feel like social media is an essential part of growing one's pest control business?
Ooh.
You go first.
You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it helps. I think it drastically helps with exposure. I think if you are a new company, like fresh off the ground, it's a good way to get traction, especially if you know how to work the algorithms and you know the hashtags, who to follow, who to connect with, who to network. I think it's a great way to get your name out there. It's something that we on the business side historically have been working on, but we're in a lot better position now than we ever have been.
Yeah.
Even on the podcast side. I mean, a few months ago, we just rolled out like our Instagram and our Facebook page, and we're on YouTube now, and it's been fun and it's been great to have the exposure. But no, I don't think it's necessary. I think it definitely helps in a lot of areas, and it can help you reach different areas quicker that you're trying to attain on the business side. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I have mixed feelings about that as well, because I think it depends on what your industry is.
Sure.
Right? And I'll throw out some stuff. Would you follow like a bank if they had social media?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't either. I mean, why?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they're not providing me anything. There's no entertainment there. I guess they could throw out some interest rate stuff, or I guess if they did some classes, they could kind of create some traction there.
Sure.
But that's about it. So I think it depends on your industry. I think social media would be phenomenal if you got the good stuff. Mm-hmm. You're getting rats getting caught. You're getting infestation of cockroaches and bed bugs because you're providing entertainment. Mm-hmm. Do I think that's going to help your business grow? No, not necessarily. Mm-hmm. I don't think so. Unless you become really big on social media, then people are going to want you to show up to their house.
Yeah.
But I've seen companies, even here in California, Southern, they are on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they are like going nuts with it. Mm-hmm. But it's just them like showing their technician driving a truck, and no one wants to see that unless it's like I'm their dad and I'm like, hey, look, there's my son.
It's like me and you taking a prom photo and putting it up on our Instagram. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what I mean is I think there is a way to do it. I think we do it very wrong, and I don't like it. That's why we haven't focused on it, because we actually paid someone to do it back in the day. We actually full time, they were literally posting very frequently, literally went nowhere. Mm-hmm. Because people don't care. People don't want to see you in front of a truck. They really don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you're nobody. We're nobodies. Like no one cares. Maybe the next pest control company over does, but like customers don't really care about that stuff.
They want to see the gross stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's what I mean. Like, so, okay, you're an apparel company, right? You have clothing, you have a skateboard, you're selling a product. Oh, social media is like prime. That is like everything there. Going on to the Insta, I mean, unless you're getting testimonials from customers and you're getting cool experiences, putting a guy with his arms crossed saying, "Ooh, we need you," or "You need us," like, I don't know. I just don't see it. That doesn't call to me as a customer because I buy stupid stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't call me as a customer. I want to see some value behind it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and get a lawn maintenance company because I saw them post something on social media, and I'm sure not going to follow them either because I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what they're doing. Now, if it's entertaining, oh, totally.
Exactly.
You know, that's where construction companies, you know, they'll like show their time lapse of building a pool in the backyard. Like, that's cool stuff. People want to see that.
That is cool.
But now they're more looking towards building them as an influencer than an actual company.
Sure.
Because people want to see their videos. They don't really care who the company is.
Yeah.
They'll get advertisements because they're building a pool and a pool company wants to, hey, these are our pumps or these are our heaters or this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Put this in your video too. Because you get a ton of views, but you're not getting a ton of views because customers are buying pools.
Yeah.
They just want to see how that pool's made and what the difference is there, right?
Sure.
That's what I think about it. But once again, I think there is a way to do it.
Yeah.
But on a small scale, you would have to focus literally where you're at. Us in Sacramento, we'd have to essentially give back to the masses and create very entertaining videos for people to start to follow us and start to use us. And then I think we would get a lot of business because of it.
Yeah.
I don't think doing the stupid little post that you see all over social media, I don't think that does anything for anybody.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you they're going to lie and say, "Oh yeah, it really works." And it's like, dude, I doubt it. There's no way you're getting more calls than anybody else.
And when you were answering, you made a good point. It's the effort and intent behind it. Like, you know, as in with what we're doing, I like to research like other social media, like pest control or like podcasts, you know, people who are doing it on their end.
Yeah.
And I even show you a lot of them. I'm like, dude, this is a great idea. The execution sucks. Or it's like the execution was great, but they're like touching a B&G with like just no gloves on. You know what I mean? It's like, it's entertaining and it's fun, but they're doing things all wrong and they're not, you know, and it's like, I just think it depends on the intent, how you're doing it and how much focus you're actually putting into it with what you're trying to push on the pest control side. Whether that's like, are you trying to show people what kind of services you do? Are you trying to show people that you do like free estimates? Are you trying to show your service area? You know, are you trying to just get a close up of a, you know, black widow, just scare people, you know, or it just depends.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing that draws people into the social media videos is you start scrolling. What videos are you stopping on? Right. What is the majority of those videos? What are the things that my parents are watching on social media? What are the things that other homeowners are watching on social media? What are businesses looking at on social media? That's where you want to start doing those videos. That's where you would want to, and I would see success from it. I go back to the same thing, taking a picture of, and I'll throw us under the bus, of a bee on a flower and, you know, and posting that. No one cares. No one wants to see that. They want to see the gross, the nasty, you know, and you could even do a before and after, which would be awesome. That I could see selling. That could mean a difference. That could create a big difference, you know, especially if it starts to go viral, right? But once it goes out of your service area, you don't get sales. They're not calling you. You know, you're not in their area. So that's where it kind of gets a little sticky. Like you get a Terminex nationwide, Orkin nationwide. Those guys would kill it if they did it smart. I mean, they could absolutely destroy. They have the money to back it too. They could have dozens of people out there with technicians filming them, and they could blast social media and get awesome videos, and they would get a ton of calls. because a lot of people are researching cockroaches, how to get rid of cockroaches. Well, you put out a dozen videos a day on cockroaches, you're going to get to the top pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't know how many people are posting on cockroaches, but people will start to get it. Then you get teenagers who are going to see something nasty and they're going to send it to all of their friends. And then those kids are probably going to show it to their parents. And then their parents are going to start looking at it and sending it to their friends. So you could grow pretty quickly, but you have to understand is where's that location and where's that video staying. If it's staying within your town, you could make good money. I think once it goes outside, I mean, you're an influencer at that point.
True.
But money's not there.
Yeah.
So I think it really depends on the execution of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's full time.
Yeah.
Don't think you can put a post a week or 2 posts a week of just a picture and some writing and call it good. That's not going to literally do anything for you. There needs to be some really good thought into those posts and really good content. And mostly videos. I don't even think a post anymore is really worth it.
Like a shorter video. Yeah.
I think videos are killing it. I don't think, I mean, unless you're a naked girl, a picture isn't going to do much.
Yeah.
You know, you got to show something that's going to be like, oh, wow. You know, you need a video.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a picture would do anything.
No, I agree. I think it's good.
You know?
Well, I hope that answers your question. And thank you to everybody who submitted their questions today. It was really good. I know that we kind of stepped away from it last month with NPMM, but we do love going through these questions. And if you guys do want to dive deeper in these questions, please reach out to us on our social media or website to come on as a guest. I know we're doing the video thing, and you know, if that scares some of you, it's okay. We can just do audio, or if you want to come up on the big screen, we'd love to have you on. But we do have episodes coming out every Monday and Thursday. Speaking of social media on this, you know, we have our Instagram, YouTube, our Facebook group, and then obviously the website, dnapestpodcast.com, where you can put in your Q&A or request to be a guest. But thank you again for listening to the DNA Pest Control Podcast.